From the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., this is Rewind. The last of any recordings of Louis Armstrong playing the trumpet occurred at the NPC presidential inauguration 41 years ago. And this week, it was released to the public.
Hello, darling.
The release included a panel discussion about Armstrong and his music.
His talent was so enormous, and his contributions to this American classical music, which we call jazz, was as great as that of Charlie Parker, as great as that of Duke Ellington, because he really invented the jazz solo. He was the first soloist who was recognized just for soloing as opposed to just the improvisation of the combo.
This event featured one woman who was at the inauguration 41 years ago and fondly remembers Armstrong.
I was, of course, 11, extremely shy, totally overwhelmed by all the pomp and circumstance, and he had a way about him to get me laughing. And instead of when we stood in front of the camera and most people say cheese, he said, say spaghetti.
At a newsmaker, an Egyptian professor said a recently unearthed mummy holds the keys to understanding cancer.
It is an ancient disease which might have become exacerbated by a lot of the things that you see in modern life, but really has its roots in antiquity. And so now when people are looking at cures or ways of stopping cancer, they will look more in the genetic pool rather than in the environmental issues that go along with it.
At the luncheon, the Interior Secretary conveyed confidence the Obama administration is on track to secure energy independence for the U.S.
At the end of the day, we all know that we cannot drill our way to energy independence. And those who have tried that approach in the past, frankly, are responsible for the failed energy security policies of the United States last 40 years.
A Pulitzer Prize winner elaborated on the challenges of investigative journalism in Washington.
The Obama administration has never been friendly to the media, and as you know, it's now using the courts in a way that even the Bush administration didn't, to go after people. And the significance of that is not really just what happens in the courts, but it's the message that everyone in the government gets. The stakes are higher now for calling out, whispering, if you will, the problems within government.
A national survey of young drivers reveals a major discrepancy in the perceptions of teenage boys and girls.
Because boys tend to have the reputation, they're the drag racers and they're the risk takers. But in this survey, what we found is a disturbing disparity between boys and girls, and that girls are much more likely to engage in distracted behaviors behind the wheel that deal with their smartphone or their communications device.
Quarter-century press club members, otherwise known as the Silver Owls, gathered for their Spring Hoot in the ballroom.
Hoot, hoot, hoot. We are turning gray, what we're built to last. Hoot.
From Washington, D.C., this is Rewind. I'm Ken Salazar.